What's up, champs? Welcome to another episode of the Short Shifts Fantasy Hockey Podcast, brought to you by Keeping Karlsson. I'm Derrick Dodgson, joining you for a solo shift tonight. It is late in the evening on Tuesday, March 24th. We're just coming to the end of a big set of games, 30 teams playing this Tuesday night. Lots of info to get to. As a reminder, Short Shifts is a twice-weekly check-in between the Sunday evening episodes of Keeping Karlsson, designed to keep you up to date with fantasy news, takes, and analysis all throughout the fantasy season, but especially during your fantasy playoffs. Now, in the Keeping Karlsson Ultimate Patron Fantasy League, the Cupful, we are currently in semifinals week. Good luck to everyone who is in a matchup in that league or any league. Definitely an important time of year to make sure that the players that you've been rostering are still the ones who are going to be the best suited to help bring you a championship. Now, as I mentioned, 30 teams are playing tonight, everyone except the New York Rangers and the Buffalo Sabres. Be sure to check free agency for who might still be available for you to pick up for either of those teams' Wednesday and Friday games, as well as Sunday in the case of the Rangers. Definitely valuable teams this week, as has been previously discussed on the show. For your top actionable news item this week, we are going to turn to Anton Frondell, who has signed his entry-level contract with Chicago and joined the team for their his first game in the NHL this evening. Now, Anton Frondell was drafted 3rd overall in 2025 by Chicago. He is a top Swedish forward with a powerful shot, the kind of player who I think Chicago and, prospect experts expect to develop into a well-rounded two-way forward, but definitely particularly valuable for his expected deployment and actual deployment, as it turns out, on the wing of Connor Bedard, playing again this first game tonight against the New York Islanders, playing on Bedard's wing at even strength and on the power play with Bedard, Tyler Bertuzzi, Frank Nazar, and Artem Levshunov. Frondell played over 15 minutes in his debut and got his first career point, an assist. Now, Chicago also plays a good schedule the rest of this week with Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and definitely someone you want to check. He, was NA or not, not applicable in Yahoo up until signing his entry-level deal, but he is now available as well as on other platforms. If he's not already picked up in your league, definitely take a look. He probably will be picked up soon. And if you can't get Frondell, you can also consider Nick Lardis, who went off against the Islanders tonight for a goal and 2 assists on a line with Nazar and also on power play 2. Now, Lardis's deployment is up from the single-digit minutes he was playing earlier this month, though the goal that he scored tonight was his only shot of the night, and he barely ever gets more than one. So definitely I would say that Frondell, based on his pedigree and deployment, is the top name you should be looking for there on Chicago. As for the Islanders, we saw a huge game from Matthew Schaefer. Seems like there may have been an injury to Tony DeAngelo, so take a look at that when more information should be out tomorrow. Also, speaking of injuries, Dylan Larkin returned from injury, reuniting with Lucas Raymond and Emmett Finney at even strength. But it was in fact on the power play he made his biggest impact, scoring a goal off a pass from Alex DeBrincat. So definitely good news for Dylan Larkin managers, as well as managers of other Detroit Stars who have been slumping a little bit in the absence of their captain. We're going to take a quick break. We will be right back.
DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is built for the fastest game on ice. With player props and live betting, every shift, every shot, every save gives you options to get in on the game with DraftKings Sportsbook. You can even bet on all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm looking right now. I'm seeing there's odds for the NHL draft. Is it the first overall pick going to be Gavin McKenna or the field? You can bet on that even. New customers bet just $5. If your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN THPN for the Hockey Podcast Network to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager, tax, pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms of responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright 2026. NHL. All rights reserved.
Before closing out with the Tuesday night games, we're going to touch on the one game that was played on Monday night, and that was the New York Rangers versus the Ottawa Senators. Thomas Chabot and Lassi Thompson actually exited that game early due to injuries. Coach Travis Green said that both will be out a while. It's reported that Chabot is going to be checked out by Ottawa doctors on Wednesday when the team is back in town. Apparently, surgery hasn't been ruled out on his right arm, which was in a splint, and there's no firm timeline, but if it is surgery, that's going to be at least 6 weeks, so that'll take you through the rest of the NHL regular season or your fantasy playoffs. As a result, in addition to Anton Frondell, that we discussed earlier, we have another top prospect in Carter Yakemchuk, who was also called up to the NHL to make his debut on Tuesday night. The 20-year-old Yakemchuk was the number 7 overall pick in 2024 and showed his value immediately, scoring a goal and an assist and splitting top power play time in the game with Jordan Spence. With Jake Sanderson and now Thomas Chabot leaving the power play and puck-moving defenseman role open for the Senators, it definitely seems like Spence and Yakemchuk, as well as Tyler Kleven, stand to potentially benefit and hopefully produce in the absence of those big-name stars. Turning now to the Boston Bruins, playing tonight against the Toronto Maple Leafs. There was a shuffling of a couple of their key forward lines in the middle of their game tonight. In practice and as the game began, superstar David Pastrnak was lining up with Marat Kuznetsov and Fraser Minton. However, things changed after falling behind to the Leafs, with Pastrnak being reunited with Elias Lindholm and Morgan Geekie instead. Definitely a boost to the value of those two that is notable, with Boston's 2 off-night games in the remainder of this week on Wednesday and Sunday. Speaking of the Toronto Maple Leafs, recently cold winger Matthew Knies was among a handful of multi-goal scorers on Tuesday night. That list also includes Will Smith of the San Jose Sharks, playing with superstar Macklin Celebrini, and once again with Igor Chernyshov, who returned after missing 4 games due to injury following his most recent recall from the minors. Both Smith and Chernyshov definitely interesting when playing together with Macklin Celebrini. Other multi-goal scorers this night included Quinton Byfield, Martin Necas, Jack Hughes, Jack Roslovic, and Wyatt Johnson, while some 3-point nights were had by Jason Robertson, John Tavares, Jonathan Marchessault, Philip Forsberg, Mark Scheifele, Evan Bouchard, and Darren Radish. Definitely some big nights for those guys, with the possibility of a few more still to come as these late games are just finishing now. Once you're done listening, be sure to check out GameDayTweets.com for the latest lineup news, goalie starts, and other useful information, including team-by-team and searchable tweets by player name. Thanks for joining. If you enjoyed our show, please consider joining the Keeping Karlsson Patreon group at keepingkarlsson.com/patron, where super supporters receive ad-free episodes and you can interact with Brian, Elon, the Short Shifts crew, and hundreds of other talented fantasy managers on our active Discord server. In addition to Game Day Tweets, thanks to Yahoo, Frozen Tools, and Natural Stat Trick. Our intro and outro music was created by Pat Roach. And until we see you next time, play smart and keep your shifts short.